Hello and welcome to the video today. You might be wondering why I always say it's the video today, and that's because it's always today. We can never reach tomorrow, and yesterday is always gone. Anyway, so you may remember my LEGO Guardian video. If you've seen it, then this is a second part of that. I'm more in the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild universe. This is the Guardian Scout. Smaller version of the Guardian, which is just basically tiny. And there's a bunch of different versions of the Scout. One which just shoots you, and this one here, which is basically the last one, which holds a bunch of different weapons and tries to murder you. Yeah. Anyway, today we're going to be building one of these robots. So let's start by separating it into different pieces. First off, let's pull off the head. So here we've got the head. It's basically just the same design as my Micro Guardian. Travis brick with bricks surrounding it, and this little cap on top. This is the main difference between it and the Micro Guardian, is it just has a flat kind of head, weird dome head, whereas the Micro Guardian has a taller head. Next, we've got this torso part. So let me see if I can take that off without breaking anything. Got this rod going up and down the center, which holds everything together. This Travis brick. There are droid arms, which you put one half of the claw into the hole of the Travis brick, and that makes this creature's arms. Now we've got the bottom. It basically just has the ring and legs on it. So let's get building. I'm going to describe for you the pieces as we build, because there's not that many, and that shouldn't be too hard. So let's get going. So first off, for the base, we've got this octagon ring plate thing. I love using these pieces because they just give you 8 things to hold from. They're great for making hinged and things in weird shapes, especially in cylinders and cones and all that. Then we've got this bottom piece. This is just for the bottom of it. I'm not actually sure what the bottom of one of these looks like because you never really see them tip over. They don't do that like Guardians do, and they're not upside down like Skywatchers or anything. So this is just a guess on the bottom that it's going to be like the same as the Guardians and Skywatchers by a 10. Then we've got this 2x2 disc for on top. This helps hold the rods in and make everything stable. In the back we've got 4 arms here. I believe their technical name is robot arms or something. Anyway, so we've got 4 of those. So we put this together. This disc goes on top. The light one goes on the bottom, and one of these goes on each direction. And it doesn't matter whether it's got these arrows or not. It can go on either one as long as these go every other pull. Okay, there we go. That is the entire bottom part of this robot. Okay, so now let's move on to the midsection and weapons. Here we've got all the pieces necessary for the midsection. We've got this shield. That's just a shield in and of itself. It's a pretty useful piece. I got it from the LEGO Chima thing, and one of my favorite uses for it is to put it upright and use it as a hologram if I'm building any Star Wars themed set. And we've got 2 lightsabers. One of these goes up and down in the middle as a structure thing. And one of these is one of the small guardian blades. I don't know what you'd call it. Then we've got a clip piece, a telescope piece, and a staff piece, brown. These are all handles. And the shield comes with its own handle. And we've got this crazy piece. I think it looks really interesting. I believe I got it from a LEGO Mixel set, and I really enjoy using these. Then we've got 3 robot arms. I believe the most a Guardian normally has is 3, but if you want to add a 4th just for kicks, you can. And then the last of all is this Travis brick. This is what holds everything together at the center. Okay, so let's begin. First off, let's take the telescope and put one of the rods inside. This is one of your weapons. You can set it to the side. Then we can also take the shield. This is a weapon, or not really, but it's a shield. Set it to the side. Then we can take the staff and this hook piece, stick them in together. And then we can take this piece and stick it on the top. This makes the Guardian spear. I'm going to put that on the side of the other weapons. I'm just going to pull these off the screen. Then we can take this. I'm actually going to wait to put this rod on and everything until the end, because it'll be easier if we start it by putting it in the base. In fact, let's just go ahead and do that now. I'm pulling the base in. Stick the rod down the center. There we go. Let's put that off to the side. And then we really need to pause here and think about what we're doing. First off, there's 4 ways you can do this. Going up, going left, going right, going down, and going right. So basically, whichever way you want it to curve, put it in the opposite way, because then it'll look more natural. And then you can stick these in by different amounts depending on how much you want it to be hinged. Like you'd stick it in just that amount and it basically goes straight forward, or you can stick the claw in farther and it heads more upward. So let's start off with one about like that for the shield. I think it's better going straight out because the robot claw has a hard time grabbing the shield sometimes. Like if it's too twisted, the shield can just slip out of place. But when it's more straight on, this is the ideal position for the robot claw to be grabbing the shield, but that doesn't look normal with the Guardian. So just pay attention to the way the plastic is inside there and stick it on so that the handle is mostly secure by the claw. Next, what we want is the spear. I like to put this one in the same way as a shield, except put it in farther so it's raised up a bit higher, so that way our Guardian can look like it's using it like a javelin. We just stick that spear on there and that's normal. Then for the sword, I like to stick that in so it's going forward of the robot. Forward is this direction, so that means putting the right claw in so you've got the left claw out, and this way it curves over to your right, the Guardian's left. And we can just stick his sword in there like he's about to do one of those weird sweepy moves, where he goes whack and thwacks you for not that much. And then what we can do is we can take and slide this down on the body. The Travis brick should rest on the studs of this disc, which means it's not connected down to anything, and this should spin fairly easily. Not too easily. I believe the pole will spin. Actually, it's looking like my Travis brick is fairly loose. So anyway, this should be able to spin so like the Guardian does, so that way it can face you without turning any of its legs. Now let's move on to the head. Okay, so now onto the Guardian Scout head. This part is fairly easy. First off, we need a Travis brick. This is going to be the center of our head again. We need 2 jumper plates. These are going to go on each side of the Travis brick. We need this disc for the top of its head. It's one of those radar dishes things. So we need 3 1x1 gray plates. We've got a blue flat stud here. I find this is good for its eye. You could probably use a normal blue stud though, light blue or dark blue. I prefer light blue. For this gray stud, it can be light gray, it can be dark gray, it can have a hole in the center. It's okay if it doesn't. I like having light gray because then that makes the weird rings in the Guardian's eye that makes it look like it hasn't slept in too long. Because then you've got the blue and then the ring of light gray, and then you've got the dark ring circle beneath that. I like that, but you don't actually need to have that. Just a little detail that I appreciate. Then you've got an orange stud. This could be any color, but I'm using clear orange because the Guardians and Shrines technically glow clear orange. You just never really see it because they don't glow that much, and most of the time they're busy attacking you. So let's begin building. Start off by taking the Travis brick and putting 1 jumper plate on one side, 1 jumper plate on the other. Now with this one I've put the gray stud on the bottom of the blue stud, but you could put the gray stud on the Travis brick first and then the blue stud on top of it. Both ways work, though it is nicer to have something bigger to grab onto when you're putting it in through the slot. You could also put that on first and then put the jumper plates on if you're having trouble. Next for the black brick, we can take this orange stud, put it on the back, take one of these gray plates, make sure there's no hair in there, and put it on. We put another one on each of the sides, and that gives us our Guardian head circle. I do not like it when hair gets stuck in Legos. It seems like that's their only purpose in life. That and making you sneeze. Okay, so then the last step is putting this disc on the top. And there we go. Our Guardian head is complete, with little bits of hair left over. And now for the last step, which is always my favorite because it means you just finished something cool. We take our body, assembled with all its weapons and crazy arms and stuff, take our head, and we just put the head on like that. But we want to make sure that it doesn't go in the stud, because otherwise you're going to have a hard time turning the head separately from the arms. I find it easy to turn this way, though if you do want to stick it on, you can. It's just going to have to be harder to turn, which you may prefer that. So anyway, I just leave that stud gap in between the head and the neck. Okay. Hello everybody, thank you for watching. I hope you really enjoyed the video. You may have noticed that there is a weapon missing from the Guardian's arsenal. It's got the short sword, it's got the shield, it's got the spear, but it does not have the giant axe thing. Sadly, that's because this is the best I can do with its axe. I have no idea how to make this better. Please let me know what kind of ideas you have and if you've come up with a better way to do this, because I would love to see them, because this thing is giving me grief. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next one.